It's beer o'clock on Reload Craft Beer. Today we've got a can of Brewdog Cybernaut New Wave Session IPA coming in at 4.5% ABV. 330 can then. Let's get it out into a glass and see what we get. Been impressed with Brewdog lately. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. Quite impressed. Their Lost Lager was pretty good. Their Quenchquake sour beer, picked it up in Tesco, pretty good. Quite happy. So I popped into my local Brewdog Cardiff today, spoke to the manager. I get on really well with the manager. He's a lovely bloke. Go in there probably once a week, have a beer with him. And he said, yeah, this has just been released, so pick this one up. Really pleased with that, and yeah, it's here. Here it is in the glass. We got a 2-finger whitehead hazy. Look at that, hazy, light, very light. We call it pale coloured. Can't really. I'm not going to call this amber. It's too light for an amber coloured beer. I'm going to say straw coloured. Is that right? Straw coloured. There's a little bit of carbonation, not too much. If I hold it to the camera, there's not too much going on, but it has developed a nice 2-finger whitehead. Let's get the aroma then. It smells okay. I'm starting to put a smile back on my face. Yes, you've all seen my videos back January, February 2018 where I was really hitting Brewdog hard, really going after them. In terms of, I was really disappointed with the quality of the beer. It was just whatever they were doing back then. I was really disappointed. But as I mentioned, that Quenchquake was a really decent beer. Their Lost Lager, as lagers go, I'm not a massive fan of lager, but as lagers go, it's tasty. I think I give it an 8 out of 10. It was good. It was good for a lager, and I can understand where they're coming from. They're quite a big organisation these days. If you're a big organisation in the craft beer world, then you're gonna probably want to kind of tuck into that little bit of kind of lager segment. They're a big brewer now. They're past pleasing people, if that makes perfect. Of course they want to please people, but the size that they are at the moment is that they can start thinking about, like, lager's market share, what is it, 60% in the UK? They want a little bit of that 60%. I don't blame them for that. Go for it. If you can produce a good lager and get people to drink it, pretty good. Go for it. You're a business. You're there to earn money. But yeah, the aroma, I'm pleasantly surprised by this. I really am. There's some orange peel, there's some grapefruit. I'm beginning to feel like the old Brewdog of old is coming back. Let's dive in. Cheers. Very clinical. It's very kind of cutthroat. There's flavour up front, and then there's like this line that gets drawn. It's like big rush of flavour, and then nothing for a little while. And I'm getting stuff now. There's maybe some tangerine on the back end, some grapefruit. When I say critical, I mean, it's very refreshing. It's a big burst of refreshing notes hits you. There's some grapefruit up front. There's some orange. There's some biscuit malt. Do you know, I think Brewdog are working really hard. I think, and I think that's fantastic. I think it's absolutely fantastic. They're working really hard on their beer, and as an independent craft brewer, yes, they've had a little bit of investment recently. Some people might question if they're 100%. What's the word? On their own craft beer. As you know, they've got bars all over the world. They've got breweries now. They've got a brewery in Australia. They've got breweries in America. They've got breweries all in the UK. We've got bars in Belgium, Poland. You know, you name it, it's a Brewdog bar. They're aiming to become a brand in beer, which again I can't fault them for. I can almost taste the blood, sweat, and tears that have gone into changing in this very beer, changing what I thought was so wrong just 6-7 months ago. I can taste that almost like from James Watt's forehead. I can taste that blood, sweat and tears in this very beer to produce something which is good. It's a good beer. And secretly, yeah, I went kind of a bit crazy. I went after James Watt, but that's because I'm a passionate person in this craft beer community. And I'm sure deep down, the guys at Brewdog, they probably didn't mind that, because if their love is still for craft beer, yes, it's a big corporate company now. It's quite a bigger. I shouldn't say big corporate company. Let me change that to they're quite a big affair. They're quite a big brand. Even though they're quite a big brand, I still feel that I can taste it in this beer. James Watt still cares. Matt and Dickie still cares. They still care. They still want to produce really good beer. So good on you guys. Good on you for producing this really nice session IPA that I would quite happily have in my fridge all year long. But I can't, because it's a seasonal beer. I can only have it for however long it's out for. Brewdog Cybernaut New Wave Session IPA. I'm smiling. Maybe it's a little bit of me getting over the fact that Brewdog is not a tiny microbrewery anymore, and they, you know, the bigger you get, the more lumbersome you get in business. You know, if you put a featherweight boxer up against a heavyweight boxer, the featherweight boxer would get 10 punches on the heavyweight before the heavyweight blinked. It's just the bigger you get, the kind of, yeah, you can hit with power, you can hit with real power, but you're not as agile. You're not as agile as you once were, and that's what's happened to Brewdog. But I feel that they're trying to be as agile as they possibly can for a big company. So well done to them. Brewdog Cybernaut New Wave Session IPA. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. It's hazy. There's some nice lacing on the glass. It's got nice aroma. It's got a good taste, and it's only 4.5% ABV. Well done to Brewdog. Really, really good beer. For what it is, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. It's a Stone the Crows. When did I last say Stone the Crows for a Brewdog beer? It's a Stone the Crows. 9 out of 10. Please put your comments in the comments box, subscribe to our daily beer reviews, give us a big fat thumbs up, boom, and cheers.